Have you ever walked out of a meeting thinking, wait, what exactly am I supposed to do?
Or received a message that simply says, please get this done as soon as possible. Sounds simple until you realize nobody actually told you what as soon as possible means.
One unclear sentence can delay a project, frustrate a client, or create hours of unnecessary work. And surprisingly, the problem is often not the English. It is the lack of clarification.
Today, you'll follow a project manager named Alex through 4 real workplace situations where asking one simple clarification question changes the entire conversation.
You'll learn how professionals clarify deadlines, confirm client expectations, resolve misunderstandings, and finish meetings with everyone completely aligned. Let's go straight to Monday morning. Alex has just received an urgent request from his director to finish a project report for the board. But one important piece of information is missing. So it's Monday morning. Alex has a tight schedule. He needs to finish a project report for the board, but he is stuck. He is still waiting for the financial data from the sales team.
That is a tough position. If he sends a rude email like, send me the data now, it damages the relationship. But if he says nothing, he misses his own schedule. He needs to clarify exactly when that data will land in his inbox.
Right. So Alex goes over to see the sales manager. Now listen to his first approach. Here, Alex uses a very direct, time-focused tone because his own delivery time is non-negotiable. Let's listen to how he speaks.
Hi, Alex. I know we owe you the Q2 sales numbers. My team is still working on the spreadsheets.
Thanks for the update, Sarah. To keep the board report on track, I need to finalize my draft today. Can I expect those spreadsheets by 2 p.m. or would 4 p.m. be more realistic for your team?
2 p.m. is tight, but we can definitely manage 4 p.m. I will send them over then.
4 p.m. works perfectly. I will hold that time slot for your data. Thank you.
Did you catch that? Even though Alex was direct, he did not sound demanding. He gave Sarah 2 specific options, 2 p.m. or 4 p.m.
Yes, indeed. When you give people a choice between 2 times, they don't look for excuses. They pick one. It's a very smart way to get a firm commitment.
But what if Alex wants to use a different angle? What if he wants to focus on the quality of the work rather than just the clock? Let's change the tone. Listen to this second approach where Alex uses a relationship-focused tone to get his deadline.
Hi, Alex. We are still working on those sales numbers for you.
I understand, Sarah. I want to make sure your team has enough time to verify everything. To help me arrange my team's afternoon schedule, when is the latest we can expect the final version?
We just need to check the last few columns. You will have them by 3:30 p.m. at the latest.
That is perfect. That gives us just enough time to update the slides. I appreciate your support.
This second option is beautiful because Alex makes it about Sarah's team. He says, I want to make sure your team has enough time to verify everything.
Yes. He shows respect first, and then he asks the magic question. When is the latest we can expect the final version? This phrase is perfect when you want a deadline without applying raw pressure.
Let's practice these 2 phrases right now. If you are listening while working, speak along with us to build that professional muscle memory.
First, the direct choice. Can I expect those spreadsheets by 2 p.m. or would 4 p.m. be more realistic for your team?
Can I expect those spreadsheets by 2 p.m. or would 4 p.m. be more realistic for your team?
Now, the softer option. To help me arrange my team's afternoon schedule, when is the latest we can expect the final version?
To help me arrange my team's afternoon schedule, when is the latest we can expect the final version?
Excellent! Alex now has a firm commitment for 4 p.m.
With the internal deadline clarified for 4 p.m., Alex can now look ahead to his next big task of the day. He has an afternoon call with a major client. And if you think internal communication is hard, dealing with this client's vague expectations presents an even bigger problem.
Welcome back to the story. So Alex got his internal data locked in for 4 p.m.
Now he jumps straight into an afternoon call with a key client, Miss Corporate Vague herself.
Oh, we all know this client. They don't give requirements, they give feelings. On the call, the client tells Alex, "We want the new software interface to look modern, high-end, and cost-effective."
Modern, high-end, and cheap. Those are not specifications. Those are opinions. If Alex just says okay and starts building, client will almost certainly hate the final product because their idea of modern is completely different.
Exactly. He needs to clarify these expectations right now. Let's first listen to how an inexperienced employee might ask for clarification. We call this level 1, the raw reality. It's too blunt and makes the client uncomfortable.
So, Alex, the design needs to be very modern and look high-end.
What do you mean by high-end, Miss Green? Can you give me an example? Because high-end can cost a lot of money and our budget is tight.
Well, I don't have a specific example right now. That is why we hired your company. It just needs to look professional.
Ugh, that hurts to listen to. Alex pushed the client into a corner by asking, "What do you mean by high end?" It sounds like an interrogation.
Yes, it makes the client feel like they don't know what they want. Now, let's listen to level 2, the executive level. Watch how Alex keeps the client happy while gently forcing them to define those vague words using specific criteria.
So, Alex, the design needs to be very modern and look high-end.
I want to ensure our design matches your vision perfectly, Miss Green. When you picture a high-end look, are you focusing more on a minimalist layout with fewer elements or a data-heavy interface with complex charts?
Definitely minimalist. Our users don't want to look at messy data. They want a clean screen with lots of white space.
That helps a lot. Now, regarding the budget, to keep this project cost-effective, we can limit the custom animations. Would a clean, static layout meet your expectations, or are animations a priority for this launch?
No animations needed. A clean, static layout is exactly what we want.
That was a very skilled approach to communication. Alex did not ask the client to explain difficult concepts. Instead, he offered a clear choice between two concrete paths: minimalist or data heavy, static or animated.
Yes, he took the words modern and high-end and translated them into minimalist and static. Now his design team knows exactly what to build.
Let's practice the phrases Alex used to guide the client. Listen to the tone. It is helpful, confident, and very professional.
When you picture a high-end look, are you focusing more on a minimalist layout with fewer elements or a data-heavy interface with complex charts?
When you picture a high-end look, are you focusing more on a minimalist layout with fewer elements or a data-heavy interface with complex charts?
Would a clean, static layout meet your expectations, or are animations a priority for this launch?
Would a clean, static layout meet your expectations, or are animations a priority for this launch?
Perfect. By giving the client clear choices, you gain their trust and avoid hours of rework later.
So Alex has the client's expectations locked down. But on Tuesday morning, things take a turn. He discovers that his own technical team lead completely misread the original project notes. A major misunderstanding has developed within the team, and Alex needs to fix it before the client finds out.
Welcome back. It is Tuesday morning, and Alex faces an internal crisis. Her technical lead, Kate, spent 3 days building the software layout using complex charts, the exact opposite of the minimalist design the client requested yesterday.
Oh no, that is 3 days of wasted work. In this situation, an untrained manager often reacts with anger. They call a meeting and start looking for someone to blame. Let's listen to how a weak leader handles this misunderstanding. Kate, why did your team build all these charts? The client told me yesterday they want a completely minimalist layout. Did you not read the updated project notes I sent last week?
Well, the original note said we needed a full data presentation. You updated the shared file on Friday evening after we left the office. You should have called us.
That went downhill fast. Alex blamed Kate blamed the Friday email, and now the team is angry. No one is fixing the software.
That's true. When people feel blamed, they look for excuses, not solutions. Now, let's listen to how Alex handles this like a true leader. He starts with appreciation, takes full responsibility for the communication gap, and then focuses 100% on the fix.
Kate, I appreciate the detailed charts your team built. The data structure looks very solid. However, I reviewed the layout with the client yesterday, and they want a strictly minimalist screen.
Oh, I see. We followed the notes from 2 weeks ago. We didn't see the update you put in the system on Friday night.
That is on me, Kate. I should have flagged that change during our Monday morning stand-up instead of just updating the file. Let's make sure we are aligned now. To get back on track for Thursday's demo, can we hide these chart blocks and focus entirely on the whitespace layout today?
Yes. The data backend is already done, so hiding the charts and cleaning up the interface will only take us a few hours. We can finish it by 5 p.m.
That sounds perfect. I appreciate your flexibility on this, Kate. Let's touch base at 4 p.m. to see the progress.
Notice how the energy changed completely in that second conversation. Alex said, "That is on me, Kate." Those 5 words changed everything.
Yes. By taking ownership of the communication gap, Alex made it safe for Kate to cooperate. Instead of arguing about Friday emails, they spent their time solving the problem.
Let's practice the 2 phrases Alex used to manage this team conversation. Listen to how calm and solution-oriented the voice sounds.
That is on me, Kate. I should have flagged that change during our Monday morning stand-up instead of just updating the file.
That is on me, Kate. I should have flagged that change during our Monday morning stand-up instead of just updating the file.
Phrase 2, let's make sure we are aligned now. To get back on track for Thursday's demo, can we focus entirely on the whitespace layout today?
Let's make sure we are aligned now. To get back on track for Thursday's demo, can we focus entirely on the whitespace layout today?
Excellent. Now that the internal misunderstanding is cleared up, the team is working hard to prepare for the final steps. Moving on to Wednesday afternoon, Kevin's team fixed the design and Alex just finished a long review meeting with the internal auditor and the director.
We all know how these meetings end. Everyone talks for an hour, people agree on general ideas, and then everyone leaves the room. 2 days later, nobody remembers who was supposed to do what.
Exactly. A meeting without a clear outcome is a waste of time. Alex cannot afford that. He has 24 hours before the launch. Let's first listen to how an ineffective meeting wrap-up sounds, where everyone thinks they agree, but nothing is specific.
Okay, so we agree on the general plan for the software launch and the budget adjustments.
Yes, it looks acceptable to me. I will sign off on the paperwork soon.
Great. And David, we will deploy the final build once that's done.
Perfect. Let's get to work and make this launch successful. Thank you, everyone.
And just like that, everyone leaves the room. But notice the problem. When will Rachel sign the paperwork? What does soon mean? When will David see the live demo? If Alex leaves it like this, the launch will likely be delayed.
You are right. Now, let's listen to a better way to handle this. Watch how Alex takes control before anyone leaves the room, using direct, structured sentences to pin down the exact commitments. Before we wrap up today's session, I want to spend 2 minutes confirming our next steps so we're all completely aligned. Rachel, regarding the budget adjustment, you agreed to sign off on the extra hours for Kevin's team. Can we expect that approval document by noon tomorrow?
Yes, Alex. I will review the final paperwork and send the signed form to your inbox by 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Perfect. Thank you.
David, you approved the minimalist design layout. Once Rachel signs off, I will instruct Kevin to deploy the final build. You will receive the access link for the live demo at 2 p.m. on Thursday. Does that timeline meet your expectations?
That works well, Alex. Send me the link at 2 p.m. and I will open the demo during my presentation to the board.
Excellent. To summarize, Rachel sends the budget approval by 11 a.m. tomorrow, my team deploys the build, and David receives the live link at 2 p.m. I will send a quick recap email with these exact notes in 5 minutes. Thank you, everyone.
Look at how sharp that was. Alex did not wait for the director or the auditor to close the conversation. He took control, named each person, and got a specific time commitment from them.
Yes, he used the phrase, "Before we wrap up, I want to confirm our next steps so we are all completely aligned." This stops people from walking away with different interpretations of the meeting.
And he followed it up by stating exactly who does what and by when. He did not say, "We need to do this soon." He said, "Rachel sends the approval by 11 a.m., David receives the link at 2 p.m.
Let's practice these final phrases. This is the language of a true manager. Speak along with us.
Before we wrap up today's session, I want to spend 2 minutes confirming our next steps so we are all completely aligned.
Before we wrap up today's session, I want to spend 2 minutes confirming our next steps so we are all completely aligned.
To summarize, Rachel sends the budget approval by 11 a.m. tomorrow. My team deploys the build, and David receives the live link at 2 p.m.
To summarize, Rachel sends the budget approval by 11 a.m. tomorrow. My team deploys the build, and David receives the live link at 2 p.m.
Great job. By clarifying the outcome, Alex made sure his project launched without a single delay.
Let's look back at Alex's week. Everything comes down to one principle. Clear communication is not about waiting for people to give you information. It is about asking the right questions.
Exactly. Let's review the 4 concrete tools we learned from Alex's scenarios so you can use them in your own office tomorrow.
First, when a colleague or a manager gives you a vague timeline, don't guess. Give them a choice. Use the phrase, "Can I expect those spreadsheets by 2 p.m. or would 4 p.m. be more realistic for your team?"
Second, when dealing with vague requests from clients, translate their feelings into specific options. Instead of asking what they mean, ask, "Are you focusing more on a minimalist layout with fewer elements or a data-heavy interface with complex charts?"
Third, when a misunderstanding happens inside your team, don't look for blame. Take ownership of the communication gap first to solve the problem faster. Say, "That is on me. Let's make sure we are aligned now."
And finally, never leave a meeting room without a summary. Pin down the responsibilities by naming names and times. To summarize, Rachel sends the budget approval by 11 a.m. tomorrow, and David receives the live link at 2 p.m.
Professional English is more than just vocabulary words. It is about how you structure your thoughts to build trust and keep projects moving forward.
Of course, every workplace is different, and every company has its own culture. The scenarios we shared today are examples. You should always look at your own workplace and your relationships with your colleagues to adapt these phrases.
Real skills take time to build, and they grow from small, daily steps. If you practice these phrases aloud just 5 minutes a day, you will feel much more confident the next time you step into a meeting. Regular practice is what makes your communication professional.
Keep practicing, keep speaking, and stay patient with your progress. If you found today's conversation helpful for your career, feel free to subscribe to our channel or follow our podcast on Spotify.
Thank you for listening, and we will see you in our next workplace scenario.
Have a productive week, everyone. Goodbye.